melodies in oven. My moves are as open.
We need some milk! Woo!
When you think of rhythm games, most people nowadays think of Friday Night Funkin' or the Rock Band / Guitar Hero series. But these games wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for Beat Mania in the arcades and Parappa the Rapper for the original PlayStation. People consider those games the grandfathers of the rhythm game genre. So where does Scratchin Melodii fit in all of this? Think of that game as the great-great-grandchild of those rhythm games. It's so incredible to see how far we've come. Scratchin Melodii is a fresh take at the rhythm game genre with its incredible aesthetics, fun characters, and memorable songs to have fun with. It pays tributes to games like Parappa the Rapper with its style of gameplay. What amazes me is how incredible the animations look, and as much as I love the 3D type cardboard animations that Parappa the Rapper had back in the day, there's just something very appealing about looking at very well animated cast of characters in Scratchin Melodii. It just has a very timeless type of look to it. Parappa the Rapper had charm with its aesthetics that seemed primitive to today's standards. Parappa the Rapper 2 was massively improved in old areas of the game. This is why a lot of fans have been begging for Parappa the Rapper 3 to come out already. Since there has been a void for that IP for so long, games like Scratchin Melodii comes around to sweep us off our feet. People's interest in the rhythm game genre started to decline. We weren't seeing much rhythm games in the mid-2010s. We just assumed that there wasn't any interest in the genre anymore. This is why I really appreciate games like Friday Night Funkin' and Scratchin Melodii, because those games have put the genre back in the spotlight. Although the spotlight isn't as big as it used to be when the genre was in its prime. Still, Scratchin Melodii is making its mark with big milestones. It's creating its own foundation through its community and players who share a passion for music. For the rest of the video, I will be comparing Scratchin Melodii to Parappa the Rapper, because those two games do share some similarities. Let's start off talking about the tutorial stage. Scratchin Melodii has a very fun tutorial stage that helps you understand how to play the game. Players learn through song what is needed to do through gameplay. On the top of the screen, there will be a bar that shows the notes that you need to press with your controller. Your opponent will spit a verse and you have to spit it right back. That's why when the bar is blue on the top, you need to repeat the bar exactly like how your opponent did it. When the bar is pink, you are supporting the bar alongside your opponent. Think of it like the opponent is the lead vocalist of the song and you're providing backup vocals. That's exactly what the pink bar is meant for. You're adding notes alongside the opponent you're facing with. The tutorial is a song and the lyrics are the instructions on how to play the game in Scratchin Melodii. It teaches you to repeat the notes and how to get good at it. My parents told me when I was a kid that if I want to memorize something for a test, I should try singing it or repeating the terminology a few times so that I could have it memorized in my head. That's why I think the tutorial level in Scratchin Melodii is absolutely brilliant. The tutorial doesn't feel invasive at all for me, and more so just a part of the game. In Parappa the Rapper, there is a tutorial in the menu section, but it doesn't really prepare you for how the game really is. A lot of people have complained that the buttons don't really match with the musical notes all that well. Despite how memorable the characters are in Parappa the Rapper and how great the songs are in the game, there's still the fact that Parappa the Rapper is a very flawed rhythm game in its own difficulty. Scratchin Melodii approaches this type of rhythmic gameplay style and aims to be more casual player friendly. Most of the time when I messed up playing Scratchin Melodii, I felt like it was my fault and not the game's fault. Never once have I ever thought that there was any delay in whatever button I matched to its corresponding musical note. This is definitely one aspect of the game that excels far better than in Parappa the Rapper. The tutorial in Parappa the Rapper just doesn't really do a great job explaining how to get good at the game. At least this guy went the extra mile to show you how it's done.
Once you understand how to play Parappa the Rapper, you'll see why 800,000 copies have sold in Japan already. Guys like me love it because it's cool. Here's how it works. At the top of your screen, there are icons that represent the buttons on your controller. As the master rapper goes through the song, a graphic of his head floats along the button icons in time to the music. When it's your turn to try it, Parappa's head floats over the icons. Now, it may seem easy, like all you have to do is copy the buttons, but you have to do them in time to the rhythm. It's all about the rhythm. You hear what I'm saying?
The 90s was so weird, like macaroni atop of a chocolate cake.
My name is Jeff.
Anyways, the game's story starts off with a young DJ named Melody. She's caught with spraying graffiti all over a wall. A group of government agents comes to her house and tells her that she's tasked with doing various jobs so she could pay back her debt to society. Melody has this DJ keyboard called the Aegis Note Star, and in order for her to accomplish her goals, she will require to defeat rivals in DJ battles. You face off against rival opponents such as Cinnabay and Biggie Cheesecake, who seem like they are personal friends of Melody. They tease and play around with her, but Melodii seems to be very intimidated by Biggie Cheesecake. In the game, you see these two siblings spray painting, and it makes me question if probably Melodii learned how to spray paint graffiti because of them. Maybe they were the ones who influenced Melodii to get into music, who knows? Just because someone is your rival doesn't mean you don't have to be their friends. We do live in a competitive world after all. Nami, on the other hand, is a stranger you meet by the beach, and she just happens to communicate with dolphins. Their strange encounter is hilarious because Nami is so focused on her meditation, meditating to apply for a job at Big Waves, which is also the same goal that Melodii is going for. So of course they're gonna go battle for the only job position left at Big Wave. Nami's probably one of the only few intimidating characters from the bunch in this demo. She's just a weird character, and she kinda sounds like Raven from Teen Titans. Now Gemtime is another stranger you meet, as she's also trying to get a job application for Big Waves. The reason though is because she has a crush that loves to eat there every day and she wants to be close to him. Melodii tries to talk her out of it because she wants the job. She insisted that the best way to a man's heart is his stomach, and that's very true. Melodii also mentions that's how her parents first fell in love in the first place, until Melodii was born. That was a bit of a shocker to see Melodii say that in the dialogue, but then again in the story so far, you see no sign of Melodii's father at all. Melodii also then tells Jamtime to not have babies and everything will be fine. They both proceed to bake a cake for Jamtime's crush, and I gotta say that the song Stir and Mix is so damn catchy. This level in particular reminded me a lot of the level in Parappa the Rapper with Cheep Cheep the Cooking Chicken. That just felt very nostalgic to me. Lastly in the demo we have Since McWave. He's the owner of McWave and he also works there. Now that's someone that really loves his job. Melodii asks Since McWave for the job because she needs a signature of the proof for the community service. Since McWave takes her up for the position, but only until the lunch rush. They start to get into a groove and Melodii takes out her DJ keyboard and starts grilling burgers on it. That is one creative way to make burgers. Grease Popping has got to be one of my favorite songs from Scratchin Melodii so far. Although the lyrics is a bit hard for me to understand at first, the synthwave harmonies and tone of the song just put you in a nice vibe. You just can't resist to bop your head to the song, it's that good. The effort and creativity that was put into Scratchin Melodii is top notch. Everything from the memorable songs, interesting characters, the art style is such a marvel to look at. Honestly, the art style in this game just amazes me how well it's done. The story so far does a great job explaining the situation Melodii is getting herself in with these characters. As you go through the world map, you'll find record players that you can mess with. It will prompt a minigame where you play Simon Says. If you get the notes right, you will be awarded a sticker as a collectible. But these stickers are also perks that you can equip that will help you throughout each and every stage. Don't hesitate to talk to the other NPC characters throughout the map. They might have some interesting things to tell you. I personally think that the world map was not needed for this game. Cutscenes could tell the story in a simpler manner, just like how Parappa the Rapper did it in that game. The world map in Scratchin Melodii is a nice addition, but personally I just never really seen many rhythm games have a story mode in them. This is all just new to me. Anyways, I want to talk about Melodii's losing animations because I believe they are the highlight for me in the game. Every time Melodii messes up in a stage, the player will see a different losing animation. Some of these are really hilarious. The losing animations varies from Melodii getting hit by her own keyboard in the first stage. Then if you lose against Nami, a dolphin gets so irritated by your music that it just slaps the fuck out of you. This one right here is my favorite losing animation in any video game ever. Moving on to Jamtime's level, if you lose, the kitchen sets off a smoke and you get smacked by a gigantic piece of butter. And in the last level of the demo, when you're dueling Since McWave, if you lose, your stove explodes on you. You also hear the customers complaining about your services in the background and how bad it is. I thought that was a really nice touch. These losing animations are a great way to tell the player that they screwed up and they would have to try again. But why does Melodii have to get hurt in a lot of these? What I liked in the Parappa the Rapper losing animations is that when you failed in a level, usually your instructor would tell you that you would have to do the level again. And Parappa would be in such disbelief. Even though the losing animations is much more flashy and interesting in Scratchin Melodii, the losing animation in Parappa the Rapper is much more believable. And also in Parappa the Rapper, the story is very simple. All Parappa is trying to do is win over the heart of his crush. His motto is that you gotta believe, and it's something that I seem to live by these days. It's such a simple but powerful message. I really do appreciate that Scratchin Melodii is trying to do something a bit out of the ordinary when it comes to its plot. It ties well into why Melodii is having these battles with her opponents in the first place. Every song that I've heard in Scratchin Melodii is memorable to me, and I really do love the soundtrack. And I'm glad that Scratchin Melodii is not trying to be like Parappa the Rapper when it comes to its sound. It's its own unique thing. I know that this video was mostly supposed to be about Scratchin Melodii, but you just can't talk about Scratchin Melodii without mentioning any of the previous rhythm games that came before it, like Parappa the Rapper, Jammer Lammy, Rock Band, Guitar Hero, and so much more. If there's one thing I could say about Scratchin Melodii is that it's a game that is easy to understand and you can get a rhythm for it. Casual players and rhythm game enthusiasts will have no problem diving right into this. Unfortunately, I can't say the same for Parappa the Rapper because of its difficulty. That game was one of the first rhythm games to ever come out on console, and it was revolutionary. And the fact that people still pay tribute to that game just speaks volumes. And also, the soundtrack for Parappa the Rapper still holds up today. Kick, punch, it's all in the mind. I still remember that line. But yeah, anyways, it's good to see that Scratchin Melodii is carrying the torch of the rhythm game genre. So what are you waiting for? Try out Scratchin Melodii today!